Okay, everybody, this is Jerry Alt. I'm here to give you a quick tip on Lightroom and Photoshop. I'm going to be doing a few of these during our lockdown period since my studio is not able to accept new clients for the next few weeks. So here's a common problem that anybody might run into when you're shooting headshots. So in this situation, I was shooting a corporate training and national meeting in downtown Chicago, and the space that the people had all the problems that we experience when we go on location. 8 to 9 foot ceilings, so we couldn't get the lights up very high, limited space distance between the subject and myself, and the wall behind this particular subject was all glass looking out on the outside, so there was glare coming in. To solve that problem, be able to take the photos, first thing I did was put up an X-ray background from Westcott, and this particular one was the white background. I use a combination of white or gray usually when I go on location because it gives me the flexibility to cut the people out from the background and substitute any corporate colors they want, make transparencies and the like. So here's a situation where I didn't have enough room to pull my subjects up off of the background and then illuminate it separately. Basically, these people are standing, 1 to 2 feet in front of the background. And as you can see, if you look here, the white background is actually kind of gray. Okay, so when you're in Lightroom, if you didn't know this tip, you can hit the letter J. And when you hit the letter J, typically, if there are highlights in the, if you've gone completely to white or completely to black, those are going to pop up. On my Mac, if it's completely white, it turns red, and I'm going to real quick jump ahead to the finish image I did here that we're going to come back to in a moment. And when I hit J, as soon as this image loads, there you go, you can see that 99% of the background is actually 100% white. So what we're going to do here is talk about how we can get there and how to do it simply. I shot 51 people within about a 30-minute period of time, and you see I got 4 or 5 images of each person. These were just for their website. They were meant to be informal. There wasn't really any posing other than having people do a slight angle toward me with one shoulder and then look toward the camera. So if we go into Photoshop, and I'm saving you the time for opening, I already opened this image, you'll see that when I'm in Photoshop, I've still got that gray showing up here. Well, there's a lot of ways that you could fix this. You could try to mask out the person and then paint over it. You could try to bring up some of the background, by yourself. But I found a quick tip that works for most situations. So I'm going to just go into this photo. I'm going to grab my quick selection tool, and I'm using the Photoshop version 2020. So rather than doing a pen tool and cutting this person out precisely, I just want to be able to improve the background. So I did a quick selection. I've already got this person. Now, as you can see, I've got the little marching ants going around the body. It's good. It's fine for what I'm doing. There's space around the hand here, down on the, if you look down in here, I've got that selected out. Go back to where I was. So here's the trick. Go to your selection in the menu and go down to inverse. So by doing the inverse, now that person is not selected, everything else is my background. Now, quickly, take your time if you want, but I'm going to quickly go over to my new layers, and I'm going to open up a levels layer. When I select a levels layer, now I'm going to show you what you can do. If I were to select and change any of these, okay, you notice how it's only affecting, because I selected the person first and did an inverse, it's only changing the background. If I hadn't done that, and I'll go back a couple of steps here to where I don't have the person selected, and if I then did a levels, and I try to change that, you see how I'm blowing out the person? I mean, this is unacceptable. We had good exposure on the person themselves. It's the background we wanted to fix. So I'm going to get rid of that. Probably an easier way to do this, but for these purposes, this is good enough. Okay, so now I'm back to where we started. I'm going to reselect that individual. I'm going to go to the select menu and click inverse. You can also use Command-Shift-I if you're on a Mac. Control, I think it's Control on the PC. But now I've got that background selected again. So when I add my levels adjustment layer, if I had multiple layers here, I would click this little button at the bottom because that clips everything I'm doing just to the background. Doesn't matter here because I've only got one layer. Now I could start playing with this and trying to figure out the right place to go, but there's an even quicker thing that you can do. If you see these eyedroppers here, the one on the top is black, the one in the middle is gray, and the one at the bottom that has a little bit of fill showing is white. If you use one of these, and I'll do the wrong one for right now, and I say, okay, I want things to be black, I'm going to click any dark space here. Everything darker than that is going to turn black, except it's not because I'm on the background. So the thing is, you can't destroy this image, okay? So you can only play with the background. All right. So what I want to do is not have this ugly blue. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to reset this to where it was. Whoops. Reset it to where it was. I'm going to click white. And then I'm going to try to find a darker spot on this. Maybe I don't want to go under here where it's real shadowy, but any place here where the body was obscuring the light coming from the camera angle, just click on that. And what that does instantaneously is set your white point. Everything from the color value that you clicked toward white becomes 100% white. So if I want to do that again and go under the arm, you don't see much difference here because it was already clipped to white, but now you see under the arm is completely white as well. So I can save this back. You're done. I can save this back. I can go back into my Lightroom, and to show you that this wasn't magic, I'm going to go ahead and let this save. It's going to take a moment because it's trying to save multiple layers on this. But when we get back and have it load back into Lightroom, you're going to see that this image has got a perfect white background. Now you can use this same technique, and I'm going to talk about it in a later video when I talk about doing headshots and specifically some basic editing that you can do to improve and make your headshots look alike. Let's imagine that this individual actually oh, and by the way, let's do this. Hit J. There we go. That image, the before image, is over here. Okay. That before image, when I hit J, nothing happened because none of it was blown out. Here, when I go back to this one and click J, you can see that 97, 99%, whatever, of this image. There's a little bit of haloing around the person, but since they were being shot on a white background, that's not a problem. We don't have to worry about this. If we were going to put a different color in, substitute the background, yes, we'd have to be more precise. But for this purpose, if you have a client like I did who said, I want all the backgrounds to be white, we're done. I had 20 images in the first batch that they wanted me to select and send them, and it was a matter of literally a couple of minutes apiece to pull these people out, make the backgrounds white, resize to what they wanted, and send them off to the client. So that's it. That's our tip for today. I will be sending more and putting some of these on my YouTube channel. Thank you.